Hi guys, Zarkompachi89 here. I have a deck tech I'm going to do. I have not done one for a while, but this is a green-white enchantment aggro deck. It's definitely a lot cheaper than a lot of standard decks out there, so if you're looking for something cheaper that's really fun to play, honestly, this is a good one to go with. So let's get into it. We have our 1-drops here, our Elvish Mystic, add 1 green to your mana pool. And then the other 1-drop we have is the Nyxborn Shieldmate. It's a 1/2 for only 1 mana, and the biggest part about it is not only is it an aura if you bestow it, it's an enchantment. It works with the whole deck. There's plenty of cards that it works with in the deck. If you look at the rest of the cards in the deck, you'll understand the whole thing. We got our 2-drops. Sylvan Caryatid, another really good ramper. It's just good for helping you get to the 4-drop, 5-drop area that you want to get to pretty early. And then we have Fleecemane Lion. He's pretty much the mainstay, awesome creature that you want to put stuff on if you're able to. Being able to make him hexproof and indestructible is awesome on top of it, but just that 3/3 for 2 is pretty awesome. The hero of Eroas, if that's how you say his name. He's actually a pretty big part of the deck. He hasn't really been used that much besides in any sort of green-white enchantment-based decks. I feel like this deck really does work well with him. With all the bestow creatures, you can make the bestow cost cheaper by using his ability. And not only that, but you can also make him bigger when you target him with stuff. So he's pretty good. I like him for 2 mana. Next, we have one of the best bestow creatures in the deck, Boon Satyr. A 4/2 for 3, pretty decent. And his flash, even better. And as bestow, giving the bestowed creature +4/+2. And you can do it at instant speed because of the flash. Also works really well if you have the hero out, so that he only costs 4 to bestow and it's still instant speed, so it's an instant speed +4/+2 for 4 mana if you have him in play. And on top of that, if he's in play and you're bestowing him, he also gets a +1/+1 counter as well, so it's pretty sweet. It's a good interaction. Next, this is probably my favorite card in the deck. I wasn't sure about the card at first, but after playtesting with it, it has been fantastic. So it's 0/0. Oh no, it dies when it comes into play, right? No. Him and enchanted creature each get +1/+1 for each creature you control, and +1/+1 for each aura you control. Not only is this awesome because he's a bestow creature, and it's only 4 to bestow, which is actually pretty good considering his ability. It could actually end up being better than Boon Satyr half the time. Not only that, but if you actually cast him as an aura, he's still technically a creature. He's an enchantment creature aura then, which means that the creature that he's bestowing automatically gets +2/+2 because of for himself. Plus it gets another +1/+1 for itself because it's a creature as well. So it's automatically getting +3/+3, and that's not considering any other auras or creatures you have in play. So he's been pretty awesome. He does a lot of work, and not only that, but with all the other bestow creatures, if the creature dies, it comes into play. So this deck is really strong against control decks because they sweep the board. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, look at this, I got more creatures all of a sudden. So it's one of those decks you don't mind stacking the bestow creatures on top of one creature. It's like, oh, it died, well now I have 2 or 3 creatures all of a sudden. Eidolon of Blossoms. This card's pretty sweet as well. I wasn't sure if I wanted to play it or not, but after play testing with it, it was pretty sweet. It's a 4 mana 2/2 that draws you a card, at the very least. Which isn't very good. It's cool. They can kill it, and essentially it's, taking up one of their spells and you're drawing a card. But at best, you get it into play, you cast a creature that's an aura or a bestow, well, you get to draw a card. Or any other of the enchantments in the deck, you draw a card. It works really well with one of the cards I'll be talking about later that also has a draw ability on it. So we'll get into that soon here. Next, we have Banishing Light. Pretty much the O-Ring, Detention Sphere type card. Just really good. It's an enchantment, lets you draw cards if you have the Eidolon of Blossoms out. And it gets rid of a creature. So, it's a good card. I don't think I put any more in my sideboard, but I might actually put 2 more in my sideboard just because it's a very good card and it helps you get rid of planeswalkers too. So, this card, it's a common. Its ability might not seem that good, but the amount of synergy it has for this deck is amazing. So let's say you got the hero out. All of a sudden this only costs 1 green. 1 green, draw a card, and it also makes the creature have the ability to tap for mana. Sweet. It's already cool as a 2 mana draw card. But on top of that, you can draw another card if you have the Eidolon of Blossoms out. So you're drawing 2 cards for 2 mana, and you're giving a creature an ability to tap for mana. And honestly, the Eidolon of Blossoms is only a 2/2 for 4. So honestly, you're not going to want to be attacking with it too much. So you throw this down on top of the Eidolon, and suddenly you have a 2/2 that can do something besides just sit around if you're not equipping it with some of the more aggressive bestow cards. So it's pretty cool. Next card, Unflinching Courage. Don't really need to say too much about the card. It's sweet. You get lots of lifelink and trample, and it working along with the white Eidolon, the Eidolon of Countless Battles. You get a huge creature that just runs things over. It's the only card in the deck besides the favor, which honestly it's not that big of a deal. It's only ones that will actually go away when the creature dies, which is cool. That's like that was the biggest problem about enchantment aura decks, is that the creature dies, all of a sudden the auras are all gone. So, but it's definitely worth the 3 mana investment. Next, the last card besides a Johnny, which we'll get to in a second, is Gift of Immortality. This card's worth less than $1 right now, I'm pretty sure. I only put 1 in here because I feel like having more than 1 isn't really worth it, especially taking up the 3 spot in the deck, which it's pretty heavy right now. So just having 1, I think the utility for it is very good, but having more than 1 takes up too much space, and it doesn't really give me the aggro that you need for the deck. So, but anyways, when the enchanted creature dies, return that creature or that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. And then at the end of the or return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. So, let's say you attack with the creature. It's a big creature. It's got a couple bestow creatures on it, and then it's got this on it. You attack with the creature. Let's say it dies in combat, or they kill it when it attacks. All of a sudden it dies. The 2 bestow creatures that you have on it all of a sudden become creatures. And then at the end of turn, or that creature automatically comes back after it dies. And then at the end of turn, if they don't kill it again, the Gift of Immortality comes back onto that creature again. Now, you have to imagine that on something like Fleecemane Line that you need to keep alive until you can get the monsters to go off to give it hexproof and indestructibility. If you can keep that thing alive by using the Gift of Immortality, there's no way you're going to kill it. The thing is just going to stick around for way too long. Alright, last card. Johnny, Mentor of Heroes. This card is sweet for this deck. This card is meant for this deck. I don't know what else I can say. This card is just perfect for this deck. I think the only thing that can make this card better is if, because I know at one point they were talking about reprinting the Lorwyn Planeswalkers, The only thing that would make this card better is if they reprinted Garruk Wildspeaker, because then the second plus one can get you something besides creatures and auras. It would get you another Planeswalker, which sure you can grab another Ajani if you find another one, but you want to find something different so you don't have to just stack them on top of each other and get rid of one. It'd be really sweet to play it, grab Garruk, be able to untap lands or make 3/3 beasts, because that gives you more creatures to go with the Eidolon's ability. The Eidolon have countless battles, I should say. Um, and then the Stampede ability, the Overrun ability for the ultimate on Garruk Wildspeaker would make it just perfect. And honestly, I think if they reprinted Garruk Wildspeaker, this deck would be amazing, because it would give us another 4-drop spot, which, I mean, it's kind of expensive, but between having the Elvish Mystics and the Sylvan Caryatid, you don't have to worry about getting to 4 mana. And I never have any problem getting to a Johnny either, even though it's the most expensive card. So, the 3+1/+1 counters is an awesome ability if you don't need any more cards. I think if you already have 4 or 5 cards in your hand, you shouldn't need to be looking for any more cards, because usually you're playing auras. If you got the Eidolon of Blossoms in play, you're drawing more cards off of playing enchantments and auras. So if you're ahead, you got a unflinching courage on a creature, throw 3 more counters on it, you're gaining more life, you're trampling over for more damage. That's honestly the finisher on this card, is the +1 ability of the 3 counters on it. The ultimate, the 100 life, is that's just something there to, kind of throw it in your opponent's face if you can do it. It's really not what you need to be doing, but the 2+1 abilities on this are just fantastic for this deck. It just gives you everything you want. For lands, they're pretty basic for what you can use right now. 4 Temple of Plenties, 4 Temple Gardens, and 4 Mana Confluence. You don't really even need these in the deck, honestly. I just like having more cards that are giving me mana, because in all honesty, like, if you're losing with this deck, you shouldn't be at a low enough life that this is really bothering you too much. Because if that's the case, then you already probably lost the game. And then we're running 6 forests and 4 plains, because even though we do have the double white here, the green is a lot more important for the deck. You need the early Elvish Mystics, the Sylvan Caryatid, you got the double mana on the Eidolon of Blossoms and on Boon Satyr. So the green is a little bit more prevalent in the deck. Alright, we'll go to the sideboard. This first card might surprise some people. It's a pretty sweet card though, and I really like it against control decks. See if I can do this without it. Yeah. Alright, so the Tethmos High Priest. This card I feel like is very, very good against control decks. Because if you just wait out, if you know they're going to be playing board sweepers, this card helps you get back your 2 most important 2-drops, which is the Fleecemane Lion and the Hero. And if you want to, you can get back the Elvish Mystic, you can get back the Nyxborn, the Soldier, the 1-drop bestow guy. But there's 4 targets for this that can be in your graveyard, that are probably going to be in your graveyard if they're board sweeping. Play this, throw down an aura on top of it. It doesn't matter if it's, something that's honestly good or not. It could be a gift, it could be unflinching courage, the favor. There are a lot of things you can just throw on this to make the ability go off to be really relevant. So I think this card is very good for a sideboard card against control. This and another card I'll be showing are for against aggro decks. Just lots of cheap little creatures attacking into you. It's a 1/3, so it's got huge toughness. And not only that, but if you're targeting it with stuff, you're gaining life and you're probably making it bigger, depending on what you're targeting it with. Bestowing it, throwing unflinching courage on it, even throwing the favor on it. So it's a 1/3 that taps for mana is still not bad. You're gaining life off of it, you're drawing a card, and you still have a 1/3 blocker that can tap for mana. It's pretty sweet. It's probably the weakest sideboard card, but I think it still works very well for the deck. This card, I like this card. It's an aura, so it counts towards all the auras that you control for the Eidolon Countless Battles. It's an enchantment, so it lets you draw cards off the Eidolon Blossoms. And it messes with their creatures. In multiple ways, not just can't attack or block. It's not just a pacifism. Sure, they can actually pay to attack or block if they have the mana for it, but usually they're not going to be wanting to pay 3 mana to attack or block. And then, especially if this is an aggro deck, they want to be, if this is against aggro, they're going to be wanting to play creatures, they're going to be wanting attacking, not having to pay the 3 mana. But the second ability is pretty sweet too. Not letting them use activated abilities of the enchanted creature unless they pay 3 mana as well is also sweet. I think it's one of the very few abilities right now that really hurts anything that uses an activated ability right now. There aren't currently that many huge threats in Standard that are using activated abilities. Or creatures, I should say. But I'm positive there are going to be a lot more. I mean, you can use this on monstrous creatures, because technically the monstrosity ability is an activated ability, so it can make their monstrosity cost 3 more to use. Alright, Mistcutter Hydra, good against control decks as well. Pro blue, so they can't detention sphere it, they can't bounce it, they can't do any of that kind of stuff. And it'll get through any blue creatures they might have. And obviously can't be countered, so that's the biggest thing why it's good against control as well. And then with the mana ramp you have between the Mystic and the Sylvan Caryatid and the Favor, which lets one of your creatures tap for mana as well, you can make this thing easily like a 5/5, 6/6 pretty early on in the game. So like running this thing out there after a board sweep is huge against a control deck. And then lastly, this card's also for against aggro decks. This thing is like the ram or goat or whatever was seeing play that was a 0/4, or the ox, that's what it was, the yoked ox. It's a 0/4 just like the yoked ox, but it's got a good ability on top of it that makes it not a defender. It can't just sit there and block, basically. You can put counters on it, make it bigger, and it can attack still. So against an aggro deck, you're playing this on turn 1. You have a 0/4 that they're probably not going to get through for the next couple of turns, and then you can start enchanting it with stuff, throwing stuff on it to make it even bigger. I mean, putting this down on turn 1, running out a Sylvan Caryatid to turn 2, by turn 3, you're throwing down a Boon Satyr on top of it, maybe, or for sure by turn 4. So turn 4, it's a 4/5, 4/6, plus the +1/+1, so it's a 5/7 on turn 4. The huge blocker, it's got a huge backside, so it's probably not going to die. It's a pretty sweet card. I actually like it a lot for the sideboard for against aggro decks. So, but anyways, that's it. That's my my green white enchantment aggro deck. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a super cheap deck. It's only between like 250 to 300, and that's, I mean, honestly, half the cards you can get for a quarter, a dime, even though it says they're worth $1 or something. And honestly, a lot of the cards you can get off your friends for nothing. I mean, the only really expensive cards are going to be like Temple Garden, Mana Confluence, and the Ajani's. and I'm pretty sure that's about it. Like these are only about $1.50. So I mean the deck is super cheap. So if you want a really fun deck that you can play, you're a newer player, don't want to build up, spend $500 on a standard deck, this is also something to really look into. Not only that, but because um, once everything rotates out when the new set comes out after M15, so not M15 but the set after, this deck is almost completely still legal, minus the Temple Garden and the Unflinching Courage. Uh, but I'm sure there's going to be replacements for those, and honestly, you don't even need the cards in the deck to begin with. Unflinching Courage gives you Trample, which is nice, but there are other ways to give you Trample. There's a Bestow creature that gives you Trample as well. So there's definitely other options. But anyways, it's a good deck. It's cheap. It's really fun to play. It has a lot of draw, so it doesn't have the problem that a lot of aggro decks have, that you throw stuff out, and all of a sudden you got nothing in your hands. It's still got tons of draw between this and the favor. So, anyways, if you guys like the deck, make sure to like the video, and if you could subscribe to my YouTube page as well. I also stream on Twitch. I play a lot of games between PS1 games and Game Boy Advance games, Nintendo 64 games. So if you go to Zarkenpachi89 on Twitch, you can follow me there. That'd be awesome as well. I might be streaming some Magic as well pretty soon. So anyways, I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll try to start making some more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.